this was basically Recreators episode in a nutshell. Let's make an original anime inside of our original anime about our original characters in our original anime. The storyception right now. What the fuck? Like, okay, so I gotta admit, that got me pretty fucking hyped. Like, that was, like, okay, even though technically what they're making is already the anime, it's fucking hype because it's so meta. It's like, bruh. Like, it's like saying, okay, I gotta put it like this, the crossover of these characters is ridiculous because they're from a story, but they're being made into a new story while they're all together and then powering up. It's pretty fucking badass in a way, just the way it's being done. And I'm like, in before the title of the series, this series they're making is actually called Recreators. Like, in fucking before, the title of the series is going to be called Recreators. I'm serious. I'm serious. That is probably going to be the title. Because the way this series has been, the way it just brings up so many messages and themes of how writers can take their stories and stuff, I'm assuming something like that's going to be happening. And it really makes you think, like, okay, just hypothetically here, it's something that it's just throwing it out there just for things to make you think about, okay? Now, I know it's not true, but I mean, it makes you think stuff like this, and I like series that can make me think what I'm about to say. When you could feel like, what if we were in a story this entire time, okay? Let's just say we were in a storybook, this is a story, and for instance, like, what if the reason why this series is being made is because of the exact same reason that's going on in this series. Like, okay, here, let me explain it in a little bit more simpler terms. What if we were Recreators, okay? We were the Recreators anime. Like, right now, I am a part of the Recreators anime, and then this series that's being made right now inside of Recreators, like this, you know, series that we're watching right now, Recreators, that is a message to us to believe in this series to save the world. But then it breaks even more meta because inside of the series that they made for us to save the world, inside that series they're making another series to save that world. And it just continuously goes on, basically. It's kind of like an endless cycle of stories saving worlds. That blows my mind. It blows my mind. I feel like that's what the writers wanted us to think. Like, holy crap, it's like saying, like, when you make a story, since we now know that the stories are real and all that, it's like making a real world, that would mean that you need to save that world. You shouldn't let it just die. So, it's like, what if we're in a story, we're saving the Recreators anime through watching it, and then the Recreators are saving their series and stuff through watching their series, and then vice versa keeps going down the rabbit hole. That, mine, just gone. Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about the dark stuff of this episode, which was, oh god, okay, so, Setsuna. I said in my last episode review, Setsuna most likely, there was a lot more meaning to why she committed suicide. Most likely, Sota shrugged her off, and that eventually led it to where she killed herself. And everything I said last week basically became true with this episode. It confirmed it. Everything I said about maybe the reason why she was continuing to live in the first place was because all she had was drawing. And with that being taken away from her and, I guess tainted, it made it to where she no longer had a reason to, continue moving forward. She was without hope. And I talked about this, of how that might have been the reason why she was able to be happy. And with that being taken away from her, she had no reason to live, and so she ended it. And the only last bastion of hope she had was to talk to Sota, and Sota was like, basically, fuck you, and she was, like, alone, and so she killed herself. The message in this episode, okay, is very, very powerful, because this stuff right here is really real. It's real. Like, that scene with Setsuna is scary real. Like, that, I've been through a similar thing, and that is scary realistic. Like, that honestly just, I was so taken aback when I saw that scene anime. I was like, they really are going all in with this theme of what Setsuna did, and now seeing the way she was as a person, how she ended it and all that, now I understand why Sota didn't say anything, because that will fuck you up in the head. That will fuck you up. Like, oh yeah, you could be a strong-willed person, but that will fuck you up. And anyone that wants to say Sota's a shit character now, I was saying that. I admit I was kind of saying that. I won't say it any longer. Sota's a pretty good character now. Not because it was a shock factor or whatever to this. It was just the fact of the way he reacted to everything that happened was so human. That's how people would react to something like that. You would feel very guilty and hold that inside of you, and you wouldn't want to talk about it. Like, that's something you wouldn't really want to talk about. It's like what I talked about a while back in my Chibi questions. It's not something you normally want to just go out of your way and talk about. It's something very personal, something that holds a lot of weight on you as a person, and that right there, oh my god, like, I can perfectly understand what Sota was thinking and also what Setsuna was thinking. I mean, let me just go through detail. Setsuna, she was a lonely person. She had no one at all. No friends. Family probably, she didn't really care about her. They didn't care about her. So she was lonely. And loneliness is a very scary thing to have in real life. Because loneliness can kill. It can. It seriously can. Look it up. And she was very lonely. And the only thing she really had after, you know, having a very shitty school life and everything, the only thing she really had was drawing. She was probably at a point to where she wanted to die. And she probably eventually went online or something, or maybe someone said something when she was just drawing something. Like, she probably was drawing depressing images or something, okay? Or maybe something to fill her with hope or something she wished she had. She posted online on a whim one day, and someone says, holy crap, this looks good. And then that made her smile and feel happy. She felt like she had a purpose in life, and she, you know, was happy. She wanted to continue living because she had something that people cared about, and she was happy and passionate about, and that's why she decided not to end it and kill herself. And so she moved on and was able to live a life she was happy with. A happy moment in her life. And when she was finally able to find someone like Sota, she was able to make a connection with someone. Something she never had as a person. She was always someone that was lonely. And having that first grasp of something to where you're not alone, it was so much for her as a person. It had so much meaning to it because it's like you're lonely, you're by yourself your entire life. I can understand that. I can. I am in some ways I'm very similar to that. I can understand. I'm not saying I'm in the exact carbon copy of her, but I can understand some of those things she felt. And when she was talking about that and how like she found, you know, Sota and she connected with him and she's like that was the happiest I've ever been. I can understand that. I could definitely understand why she would say those things. And when Sota, someone that was like her only line of support, after she already lost her drawing, anything that made her happy, the only thing she had left that she could hold on to that gave her hope or happiness was Sota. And when he turned his back on her, it was the final nail in the coffin. There was nothing left. And you could see it was... She thought about this for a while. It didn't just happen over one night. Like, he didn't turn his back on her and she just killed herself. You could see she at the very least thought about it for probably a couple weeks or maybe a month or so. She thought about it and then she was just done because she probably went to a cycle of depression and then she just was done. She had no reason anymore. It was over. She probably felt betrayed or whatever, lonely. And she was just done. She didn't want to live like that anymore because she had a taste of what it was like to not be lonely. And now being lonely, again, she didn't want that. So she, you know, ended it. So that is very sad. It's super sad. And I'm just really surprised Recreators was able to handle something so dark, something so controversial, because stuff like that normally is not handled properly in literature. It really isn't. Not a lot is. And I've seen a lot of themes like that where people want to commit suicide and stuff in anime or manga or other books. And sometimes it's done well, but it's not properly done. And I'm just really surprised by how well it was done in this episode. And the voice actor really nailed those lines when she said, like, sayonara. Oh, God. Like, that was depressing. It was super fucking depressing. Like, damn, this series got depressing real quick. So, recreators, at least the writers can really write a good story. They're definitely writing a good story, because that just blew me away with how that was handled. So, yeah, recreators, the latest stuff, like, oh my god, these episodes have been good. But, moving into one last thing I want to talk about, though, let's talk about Alice for a second. So, Alice, she goes through a little bit of character development. She's not acting as brain dead as she was, which I'm surprised. So she's going through character development. She let her, creator go, her god, and allowed him to live. That was a very nice moment, too, just to see how she's changing for the better. So she might eventually join our team's side, too. So, nice stuff. Nice build-up there. But overall, that's about it when it comes to this episode. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.